Alright, we had another annoying Skaven ambush. It was an absolute mess, but managed to get through it. Obviously it was not great, because we lost a lot of units here, and I'm going to have to fix that, so this army is going to be out of action for several turns, which is frustrating. So the AI is trying very hard to slow me down and keep me away from Kholek, which I'm not shocked by, to be honest. Let's see what we got now. So a lightning strike available to us, which of course is going to kill off some of my units, because that's always how it is facing the dwarves. So I'm going to have to take care of this one as well. I know, it's shocking. I didn't lose any of my constructs. Wild. It's like the AI just can't understand. I'm not going to stand a terracotta sentinel in front of your cannons and your organ guns, okay? Like that's a given. It's not happening. Will not happen. And it was an ambush. I was able to shoot up all of their ranged units within the first few seconds of battle. So it's not like those units were going to actually get anything anyway. Look, another dwarf. Let me guess. One of my units is going to be disappeared. No? No, they're not actually disappearing one of my units. I'm a little bit shocked. In fact, that was probably one of the most fair auto-resolves, even though it wasn't totally fair from the dwarves that I've seen. So I guess I'll take it. Take what I can get where I can get it. We're stealing all kinds of stuff. Okay, things just got a little bit more interesting up here. Around Kholek's forces. He has some reinforcements that may come in. Speaking of, during the turn end, you all saw the crazy Skaven ambush that happened up here, which is great, right? You know, it's always nice to be ambushed by Skaven and have to put up with that crap. Let's see. I need this army reconstructed. It's going to take 4 turns to do it, at a minimum. That is intensely frustrating. Trying to remember what all I had. I had a whole bunch of single entities in this army, and honestly, it was pretty good.
I expect loyalty, efficiency, and harmony.
It's just irritating. Those 2 armies are gonna have to sit and wait now until they're ready to go. We need to take out all the enemies at the challenge stone. Of course, the AI has limitless funds and capabilities, so they're just recruiting new armies and defending their last settlement, even though they only have 1 settlement left, and they will have had to have already spent the money that they spent just getting all their armies together. They somehow still have money to make a last stand here. I know it's convenient, that's the way it works, but you know what? I guess in a way it's good, because I'm sure a lot of you out there want to have like a photo type finish of the campaign, and in a way this will kind of give us that, you know, like in the sense that we're not going to just be handed a domino effect victory here. We are actually having to work for it, and it is actually quite a challenge. Alright, these 2 armies have recovered following Ironbrow's expedition showing up on my doorstep when I did not ask nor want them to. But 'tis the nature of a grudge too far for dwarves to show up rather unannounced and rather unwanted. This army is going to be able to replen pretty well. Let's put these 2 armies together, so I should be able to hold the dwarves at bay. We spotted 2 more dwarf armies over here, one of which is Thorgrim. So there is just no amount of thrashing them that is going to seem to get the point across to the AI here. Quartermaster would actually be handy, because I'm going to need more. Let's go ahead and enter an ambush stance, kind of push up into here a little, and just continue to try and head off the dwarves. We've got these other 2 armies that can head off this one, so... And we have just killed and killed and killed the dwarves, and it has not even begun to slow them down. And the worst part is that this is not even anywhere near the largest dwarf faction. I think Karak Kadrin was the largest, but it looks like the vampires are actually overrunning them. Or no, sorry, Clan Angren was the largest. They are rather huge. I hate that I'm having to leave an army back here doing nothing, just watching these idiots back here. That is truly a disgusting waste. But at the same time, like, these wood elves just cannot be trusted. And I can see them trying to lash out at me last second and affect things. Anyway, the real meat of the action is going to be up here, and we need to attack this force here from Kholek's faction. Of course, they're going to run away. That's just quite typical. So this leaves me with a couple options. Follow and destroy that force, which I do need to do. I don't want them to get loose.
I will make my father proud.
Master of Feng Shi.
Which is going to delay me going after Granite Spike, which means that army is likely to try and recruit more units, or we'll pull more units from the Regiment of Renown pool. Alright, these guys can't run now, so they're stuck. And let's get another battle in here. I mean, this is going to be another savage beatdown, but let's begin that beatdown. Alright, the AI made the rather strange, well, I mean, predictable, yet foolish decision of deploying over here close to the reinforcements, which puts them in a nice bunched up group to allow my artillery to open fire on them near immediately. So I do appreciate their kindness and speeding their destruction so that I can just get things over with here. I had my cannons targeting their dragon ogres. They've kind of run off into the far off reaches there. I'm trying to think. Probably those Forsaken are our most concerning unit there. Anyway, so I'm going to continue to open fire. Miao Ying does have Talons of the Night, but I'm going to leave her untransformed at the moment so that I can do a little bit more work first. So I'm going to savage these guys with my artillery a bit here. I'm trying to pick off dragon ogres. I would consider them to be a somewhat significant threat. My reinforcements have arrived. So let's get those reinforcements moving into position. Alright, so got them coming up. Chaos only has a little bit of skirmish capability here. They have a couple of Marauder Horsemen. Otherwise, I could just come pick off that. In fact, I probably will just go ahead and come pick off that Manticore flying around. I'm not super worried about their skirmishing contingent. I'm gonna put all my flyers up into a group here. My cannons are not being near as effective. Like, they keep missing those dragon ogres. Rather strange, actually. I'm gonna go ahead and maybe target those chaos trolls. And then just to create kind of a frenzy here, I'm gonna deploy this army. Whoa. That army ability unit. Hey, easy rocket batteries. Alright, maybe I won't bring these flyers out. Let's hold off a second. Apparently my rocket batteries are a little bit overzealous. See, that'll help bog these guys down longer and mess up their reinforcements, which is great for me. Why are you still firing? Oh, I targeted the new cannon at Chaos Trolls. My bad. Let's actually move these cannons up a little more. I've got some more crossbows. Let's bring them over there. And then I've got some crane guns I want to set up back here in this position. And let's just start putting together flank here.
It is our sworn duty to defend.
Alright, I'm gonna come out here and kind of block these incoming charges. Let my crossbows continue to do some work. I'm gonna target this stuff back here. Then where's my... I've already run out of rockets. That's awesome. Alright, there was the Manticore that I should have intercepted but didn't. Let's go ahead and crunch him real quick. Launch, yeah, good. You guys fire out here. There's some pretty valuable targets out there. Do I have another rocket battery on station? I do. Let's turn all artillery towards that blob out there. And this flank's gonna be quickly and easily shut down. Let's maybe take out those horsemen and just bring in more reinforcements here. Where's Miao Ying? Oh, she got way out of position, but is managing to hold up just fine. And let's go ahead and put a Talons of the Night here. There's a few units around. Got some heals going on. Drop some leadership, attack, all of the things. Got a few more units headed in now, so then I'll go ahead and drop that. Is there some reason my artillery is not blasting these guys into an oblivion as I ordered?
Ready to rule.
Alright, Miao Ying is out here just tanking that entire blob. I've got some single entities tanking everything over here as well. Let's just kind of continue to throw all in and get these troops knocked out. I'm gonna go ahead and probably cease fire with the artillery because we've pretty much taken care of business here. I like this. Miao Ying has been near untouchable out here, even with a giant in the vicinity. I don't have any more damage spells that I can drop at the moment with these units, but I do have an alchemist. I'll bring the alchemist out. And this stuff will probably fall apart before they get there, but let's go ahead and encourage them to flee.
For the defense! Gairan, aid me!
Awesome. Alright, there we go. Alright, we were just far more powerful there, which is good. I'm gonna go ahead and take the replan. Try and keep our army strong. That's gonna drive off their allies, but it's gonna get rid of that entire army that Kholek had put together. I imagine we'll see Sun Eater back here momentarily. It doesn't take the AI long to recuperate a wounded lord. They're gonna have them back pretty much near immediately. This army's not recruiting, though they do have a powerful garrison at the Challenge Stone. However, I think what we'll do is go ahead and just siege them on the next turn if there's not more enemies around, and that way they can no longer recruit units or bring back any more additional armies. And there are just enemies absolutely everywhere, and they've just really come out of the woodwork trying to stop me, of course, here at the very last second. I'm going to go ahead and end a turn, and we'll see what we get here, folks. So worst case scenario, if Miao Ying and her army gets defeated, Zhao Ming and Ping Lin should be only like 3 or 4 turns behind, able to move up there and try for a kill on Kholek as well. So hopefully we're not too far out, but I mean, you can see like the AI is just scrambling absolutely everything and throwing it at me, attempting to stop me. We've got Thorgrim now coming in at us here too, so I'm gonna have to shut him down. I'll do that off camera. Find someone who can do mods, and I want to create what's loosely termed the Battles Have Consequences mod. And basically the purpose of this mod would be, I'm gonna retreat from this because they're lightning striking the same army over and over and over again, and now they're after another army and they've somehow come up with 2 more even though we just killed one. So I'm gonna try and alright, I guess I gotta deal with yet another dwarf army here. If I auto-resolve, I don't know whether they still have yet another army that could attack me. They might. I'm just gonna do it. I'm so tired of fighting dwarves. This is so old, so fast. Okay, that was up near Blood Peak where those fights were taking place. I'll just flee back with those armies past an ogre settlement and the dwarves won't be able to pursue me. Yeah, I want to have the Battles Have Consequences mod. And there's a couple of ways it could be implemented, but just the basic premise is that when a faction loses battles on a grand scale over and over and over and over and over again, that they start to lose the will to fight against that foe. And I would think that this should apply for the player as well, right? So I'm okay with this applying to the player. My thought process here is, look at this. Dwarves just piling on, so I killed 2 of their armies up here on the same turn end. We did somehow manage to lose a unit in this army, unless, no, we have someone wounded. Steel Tech. No, I'm just missing a unit in this army.
Dragon-blooded Shogunga.
Oh my gosh, so annoying.
Path of destiny.
It's Blood Peak. They have hardly any ogres in Blood Peak. I'm gonna fall back over here and just keep replenishing. It looks like, yeah, we're missing a unit in this army. I can't grab anything quickly because I can't get into the encamp stance. Freaking dwarves everywhere, just all over the place, all the time. More dwarves coming in over here. Dwarves everywhere. Man, these guys are an absolute nightmare, pain in the butt. I have got to finish this campaign because I don't think I can tolerate too much more of this from the dwarves. Okay, now this is... That would actually be fortuitous if I could attack this army and kill all their troops outside the walls on this turn-in. I'm still a little bit damaged here with one of my units, but it's actually not that big a deal. What does it look like? How risky is this? It's only 39%, and then we can move... Takes us down to 31%. Let's move here. Either way, I've got to siege this settlement on this turn.
Absolutely.
I actually think the way I want to do this... I was thinking about attacking that one army and trying to kill them outside the walls. I think what I'm going to do is just come seal off their settlement. No new armies. No more nonsense. So I'm going to start building towers and equipment, and I'm going to continue the siege here.
Witness their
And
demise.
then I'm going to move up Miao Ying. Unfortunately, my army is going to suffer chaos attrition while sieging, which usually does not happen, so that's pretty frustrating, actually.
I stand apart. Favored daughter.
Spill that vile blood.
I didn't know I was going to suffer attrition while sieging. It's going to be fairly significant. I'm going to lose 6 soldiers. 4 there, so even with all of the upgrades that I made to not suffer as much attrition, there's pretty significant attrition. No, I had to go do something else for a minute. I was sitting there thinking, this is the end of an epic campaign, and we're going to end it with an epic battle. I'm going to fight this. We're going to fight it right now. We're going to take this problem down and end it right here. I believe we have the means to get it done, and I'm going to do my best to do it. So here's to victory. We'll see what happens. By the way, I'm going to show this back as a cinematic battle, so we'll try and end it right. Alright, folks, the great end battle has begun. My first act is to destroy the Chaos Towers that are facing me, which will not be difficult. I actually didn't know how effective rockets were against towers, but incredibly effective, actually. So yeah, Kholek's final citadel in the Chaos Waste, the Gathering Stone. I don't know if that's one of those big mountains in the back or if it's something smaller within the settlement, but the towers will fall, and no amount of Chaos Warriors or Chosen within will save Kholek from his impending doom. So I think it's funny that they are Chaos, they're supposed to be the end times, yet their end times are the ones that are here. So I've destroyed the towers, I'm now going to move up my troops and unleash the second phase. Alright, phase 2 is underway. My Celestial Dragon Guard crossbows from both armies have moved into position and are going to be unleashing unholy doom of crossbow bolts upon the enemies on the walls. These Chosen will resist them fairly well between the wall and their shields, but any unit that begins to move is going to start to take some pretty massive damage, so you can see the enemy is going to pretty quickly realize that guarding the walls is not going to be something that bodes well for them. Now, the enemy is going to be building towers near non-stop, so I put together a tower wrecking crew. That is going to be all 4 of my Great Longma Riders and my Shugengen Lord, who is supporting Miao Ying here. And they will fly to all of these towers and annihilate them. You can see my crossbows have driven back the enemy from the walls. And that is phase 2, which is to kind of clear the lane. I am now going to send a unit of halberds to tear down this gate. And as soon as the gate has been torn down, I'm going to send all 4 terracotta sentinels through to draw the enemy in, and then I'm going to unleash about 100 winds of magic, which is collecting in the reserves, into the magic pool, and I'm going to unleash all of that on them. I'm hoping that it'll be a combination of final transmutation, the comets from... Apologize, sorry for having to clear the throat there, I guess all the chaos is getting to me. It's going to be the Celestial Comet from my Astromancer, and then our Alchemist has the final transmutation. Miao Ying has the Talons of the Night. Miao Ying also has healing. So we're going to be dumping just the absolute works at Chaos, so I'll see you at that point. Now, slightly before bursting down the gates, I decided that these 2 Feral Manticore have to go. I don't want them landing in my crossbows or artillery or any other units, so there were more towers, so I sent in my Longma force. And this is a considerable force of great Longma Riders. The Longma Riders are pretty survivable in the sense that they have a lot of armor. They don't have the best defense, but they do deliver a ton of damage on the charge, and Manticore don't really have a whole lot of armor themselves to resist it. So we did get hit with an enfeebling foe, but the only foes who are going to be enfeebled are going to be the Manticore here as they get cut out of the sky by my far superior flying forces. It's not even going to be a match. Like, I mean, it is going to just... I love how there's like blood dripping down to the ground from the fight above. Stand beneath it, and I guess it's like blood rain. But in any case, there goes the Manticore units driven back and defeated, and now I'm going to crush these towers and the others that they continue to stand up, and we are about to soon start hacking our way through the gates. So again, I'll see you at that point. The chopping down of the Chaos Gates has begun. You can see some of my Jade Warrior Halberds taking care of this. You can send single entities to do it. I figured that I would let these men with their pole axes do the job. So they're going to chop down the gate, and here in just a moment you'll see the resulting battle, and it will be quite epic. Now, before the battle, of course, Kholek gave a mighty speech to his troops, telling them how their very survival depended on their ferocious ability to fight and defend their last citadel. But of course, seeing this come through the gate has to take a toll on one's valor. 4 Terracotta Sentinels, one of them the Green Sentinel, probably known as the Green Horror here to Chaos. Now, the Marquis of Masochism comes in, thinking that it may be able to make some difference here, but it is overmatched, and the fight is going to begin. So, initially speaking, I'm going to let the AI kind of pile in here, and let them send all of their troops and reinforcements forward, and then we're going to hit them with a magical bombardment, the likes of which this campaign has never seen, and it's going to be awesome. We're starting here with a final transmutation, which is going to help start tearing away at the Marquis of Masochism and all these troops nearby as well. Now remember, my characters here have increased spell mastery because of having the right traits, which means that final transmutation is going to do tremendous damage to the forces of Chaos. Here comes the first Celestial Comet, pounding its way down, called down by the Astromancer and chewing into the forces of Chaos. The Marquis of Masochism goes down already, and the 4 Sentinels begin to kind of plow their way forward. Now, at this point, I probably should have sent a lot of my Halberds in, but I decided, you know what, I'm just going to let these guys hold. It doesn't matter if I lose a unit or two. I can do more damage to the enemy. This was a Talons of the Night here. If I just make sure it's all enemy units and only my single entities. You can see a lightning strike coming in here as well. Hit those cavalry units. One of them hit us outside the gate. That was going to be Kholek, getting a little revenge there. Speaking of Kholek, here is Big Daddy himself. I'm waiting for him to get in here. We're going to hit him with the final transmutation. I've also dropped some heals on my Terracotta Sentinels. That was a headbutt on a Terracotta Sentinel. I absolutely love it. Giant coming in and fighting dirty. We have 2 huge characters going head-to-head here. Now, Kholek's going to try and single out one of my Sentinels up against the wall, but the Green Guardian's not having any of that. If Kholek wants to fight, he's not getting a fair 1v1. And there comes another final transmutation, and that is going to eat away a tremendous amount of hit points from the single entity monsters here, and then an Ancestral Warrior is going to summon in these ethereal halberd-wielding troops to make the fight for Chaos even more impossible. And remember that they haven't even faced a single halberd of my army. Not the Jade variant, and not the Celestial Dragon variant. And my Celestial Dragon Guard at this point have better stats than Chosen because of all the upgrades, just to give you an idea of what Kholek is going to find himself facing. It is not going to be pretty. So Kholek is really fighting hard, but he is ultimately going to fail in his attempt. These unbreakable halberds are going to do some nice damage. Now, the stats on these guys are not as near as bonkers as my standard infantry, but they'll make a nice holding force, at least for now, while my spells kind of come back together. So, yeah, you can see Chaos really still blobbing up. They brought in all their single entities. Again, this really bodes well for me. I'll show you Kholek's hit points. He is very tough indeed, but he is being defeated by my dual Sentinels. Here comes another Celestial Comet, just absolutely crushing that Chaos blob that was there. And there's going to be another final transmutation here, which is going to start melting away at the Giant and Kholek. So they are not going to last much longer. The Great Dragon Ogre put up a mighty fight here, and I will definitely lose a Sentinel because I haven't brought in the infantry reinforcements, but again, this is going to be the utter end of Kholek, so it really doesn't matter. All my magic is now spent, so there's no reason for Miao Ying to remain in her mortal appearance, so she's going to turn into the Celestial Dragon and come fight Kholek as well, and get a piece of this last Chaos holdout. Look how tough this dude is. I mean, he is taking a beating from 3 Sentinels and now a Celestial Dragon. And the Forces of Chaos are going to feel the last bit of lightning here. This is a bound spell from my Astromancer, so magic reserves are completely empty. And it's at this point, with the magic reserves empty, I no longer have to worry about friendly fire from the spells. So I'm going to just bring the full wrath of all my forces to bear. My Celestial Dragon Guard are going to start sending ladders up the walls and amassing in huge numbers. There are some chosen guarding, but they will no doubt be overwhelmed. I have already taken a significant chunk out of the Forces of Chaos. They were having trouble enough just fighting my single entities, and now they have to contend with some of the best troops that Cathay has ever known. These troops are hardened from an entire campaign, and will be more than a match for their Chaos counterparts, despite the fact that the Forces of Chaos here are actually pretty potent, at least some of them. There's Chosen with Halberds, there's some Chosen Knights, Trolls. There are definitely some tough units here. I believe I've lost my first Sentinel, you can see it laying on the ground, but Kholek dropped as well, so the Great Dragon Ogre is defeated, and his forces are now fighting without him, and their survival is dependent on it, but not likely to succeed. Meanwhile, in the background, I did send my flyers over to take care of some towers, so they have continued to keep busy on that. I'm going to move my crossbows up on top of the wall, and we'll move my Astromancer inside, as well as the Alchemist as well, but at the moment, still kind of a heavyweight fight. They're not needed now. Chaos sends their War Shrine forward with their Exalted Hero on their... It's either a Sorcerer or a Hero, I don't remember exactly who rides on here. Oh, it's a Sorcerer. Tzeentch Sorcerer, kind of cool looking there. So they've sent him forward. The War Shrine, of course, will buff up nearby stats and help support them. The magic from Chaos has not been particularly effective. I'm not sure how much they were able to get into their reserves and how effective it's going to be. Seeing Miao Ying tail whipping the Chaos Giant here. She has been extremely potent in combat and has not had much of a problem helping to push back those units. So again, as if it wasn't difficult enough to defeat the monsters, Chaos is now facing all of these battle-hardened Jade Warriors who have pushed through and are cutting down any opposition in their way. That War Shrine is going to keep walking around and try and continue its support. And then over here on the walls, the Chaos Chosen, who typically are the best of the best, are just utterly and completely overmatched. Man, those are some really cool-looking unit models for the Chaos Chosen. I never really liked Chaos units in terms of tabletop or in the game, but you have to admit those guys got some style with all that armor. But they are going to be cut down by an absolute flood of Celestial Dragon Guard, one that they could not possibly hold back. Even Chaos Chosen would have been really overmatched there. Speaking of Chaos, they continue to send more warriors into the fray. The AI tends to guard multiple spots of these battles, and it ends up kind of being a downfall for them. This War Shrine has had its fun for long enough. We're going to poke through its barriers and destroy these hideous creatures and their leader, which rides atop. So the War Shrine's going to come on in. Looks like it's carried by, I don't know if there's some kind of weird spawn or whatever that is, but anyway, I've got more Celestial Dragon Guard in the background, which are coming down off the wall. They're going to come in and support as well, but yeah, that War Shrine is going to get hacked to bits by the anti-large power of my Jade Warriors, so it is not going to last terribly long. Miao Ying is out here shutting down an Exalted Hero. I believe this is a Nurgle hero because of all the disgusting filth around him and on his horse's hooves, where it looks like it's been walking through the sewer system. But yeah, they're gonna go down. Like I said, despite the fight of that shrine, it is also about to go down. And this leaves Chaos with very little left. I've actually sent my flyers on a mission back towards the victory point to see if I can draw even more forces of Chaos in that direction and further divide and destroy them. There's not many of them left. That initial assault by my single entity monsters took a massive toll on the forces of Chaos and left them pretty much utterly defeated. My crossbows are beginning to populate up on the wall, and as units come in to try and reinforce, I'm going to open fire on them, and they'll be left with really nothing but defeat. That war shrine is now fleeing, and somehow manages to make it out of there. I'm not really sure exactly how that's possible. As more reinforcements arrive, these are going to be more Chaos Knights. You can see the Knights flooding into combat here, but being met by the best of the best forces. I now have an entire sea of Celestial Dragon Guard here. And the Celestial Dragon Guard are going to really hack apart this cavalry. They have both the armor-piercing and the anti-large to shred these guys, not to mention huge defensive stats, and you can see that the Chaos Cavalry is accomplishing almost nothing against them other than just coming in and being cut to ribbons. So, my crossbows are in position now, or at least I'm pretty sure they are. Yep, they are now lined up on the walls, and I'm going to give Chaos a last couple of embarrassing volleys here shortly, just to, like I said, show them further who their masters are. It is not the Chaos Gods, but it is the legions of Grand Cathay, and the will of the Emperor, and the Celestial Dragons. So, here it is, folks. The final moments of the campaign winding down. Obviously, I'll have a bit of a chat at you out on the campaign map, but I definitely hope you all have enjoyed this one. It has been an awesome, legendary fray that we have thrown ourselves into, and it's presented a number of challenges. It's presented moments where we were quite strong and almost uncontested, but like I said, the AI definitely gave us a fight to the end, so turning on all of those apocalyptic challenges was definitely worth it, in the sense that it gave us, I think, a pretty epic memory here. I don't know if we've had to fight quite this hard in all of our campaigns all the way to the end. Alright, what I was really looking to prove there is I'm better than you, eat it, and I'm taking victory whether you like it or not. We did lose a couple Sentinels, which really does suck. One of which was the Green Guardian, I believe. Yeah, we lost the, I think this was the Green Guardian. I could be wrong. Yeah, right here, Green Guardian. So we did lose him, but we did show just tremendous magic power here. Look at the 7408 on our Sorceress, or sorry, Alchemist there. Our Terracotta Sentinels did pick up quite a bit of value each. Again, I could have sent, halberd support to them a little bit sooner, probably should have, but not the end of the world. Our crossbows didn't even have to use all their ammunition, and then of course our flyers were just like kind of a patrol, but we used up all our magic. We caused some pretty tremendous damage. We killed the Sun Eater at his capital, in his territory, behind enemy lines. So, I don't know how else we could really do that better at the moment. I wonder if I occupy, I think my other army is still in... We're going to replenish really crappy back here because it's one of the red climates. But it's better than nothing. So enemy killed in battle. We killed the Heralds of the Tempest. That should... There it is. Long victory, folks. Long victory achieved. So we have accomplished a long campaign victory with Grand Cathay. So I hope you all enjoyed this one. It was on legendary difficult with all of the apocalyptic events. We did it. We achieved a long victory. Achieving an ultimate victory would be absolutely bananas and completely bonkers in every way imaginable. But, probably could be done. Obviously, I'm not going to do it here, but hope you all enjoyed it. Grand Cathay is reigning supreme. No one can stop them. And I hope you all enjoyed this epic series. Guess what? I'll be coming to you as soon as I can with a Chaos Dwarf campaign. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. HeirofCarthage signing out from the Grand Cathay campaign, and I will see you soon.